Hey, good morning, Amber. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me today before you run out into the field. Um, just wanted to start with a few questions, if you don't mind me putting you on the hot seat.
You know I don't mind, Marty.
All right. Well, now you started your career similar to the way I started mine with a large national brand before you came and joined us here. You were just at one company before, right?
Correct.
And tell me a little bit about um, why did you join us here at MGM?
Well, I started with a big national brand that promised new agents all the training in the world and that the culture they have there is, next to none. And it's a big team that would help grow my business. And about, I would say September, so about 9 months in, I just felt like something was missing. And then you and I found each other, and I learned how much so quickly my career could take off when it felt stale.
So now, how long were you there before you joined us?
I started in January and I joined you in September. So 9 months.
So about 9 months there. Now, a lot of people think that when they go to work for those big companies, they're just going to go get a desk and answer the phone and make 100+ thousand dollars their very first year. Is that the conception you've seen, or
Yeah, they made it sound like I joined them and my career would just magically take off because they have supposedly the best training in the world.
and they? I know they do have big training programs. The company that you were with, and we're not going to mention any names, and they're noted for being one of the best training companies in the world, actually. Um, I'm not sure how they get to that. How many sales have you done with our system since you've been here in just the first few months to
Well,
close out
when
the year?
I joined, I only had two transactions, but by the end of the year, so in 3 months, I ended with 15 total transactions.
Wow, now that's a huge difference. So 9 months got to two transactions. When you joined us, you kind of saw the end in sight and just didn't feel like it was going to take off and didn't see where it was going and just wanted to get out because you knew you needed something better for you, right?
Correct.
And then with just the final few months of the year ended at 15 transactions. So in a few months, working on 13 transactions versus the two that you had done before. What do you think the difference was?
Honestly, it was the training, the way that MGM has the training structured in modules. It was easy to, follow, and it really went in depth on what you actually need to do day to day to build your business and grow. And I'm proof that you can take off with the correct training.
So the systems we talk about, now I know I've probably already mentioned about the team of 5 agents we use to build and kind of perfect these modules to just get everything documented of what we were doing that made us successful while we did it. Now, be honest with me. Have you trained deeply into all of the modules?
I have. I really believe in the training that MGM provides because it really does, make you grow and it shows you exactly what you need to do and accomplish so you can grow your business. And so my only limitations now are myself. I can achieve any goal because I now have the training and the tools that I need to be successful.
And you remember the three things I told you an agent has to have to make it,
They need money, knowledge, and motivation.
and motivation. Now, there are many things that we're doing that don't require money. Now, you did our that don't require much money at all. Um, and I know you did our full unbreakable system. So you saw the full 8 modules, right?
Correct.
And I know you've been working hand in hand with me a little bit directly, kind of guiding through those. Um, is there a difference in the CRM you're using now versus what was provided at the company that was there before?
Yes, there is a big difference. The way our CRM works now and how we have different tools that help us so we don't have leads that fall through the cracks because you can put them on different workflows and that makes it so much simpler to, have those extra touches because we all know as agents, we're busy constantly, and the CRM really provides the tools. So I don't have to worry about my clients falling through the cracks and missing out on a deal.
So do you think a lot of the difference is knowing just how to generate the leads now and having a system that manages everything for your marketing just better?
It's way better.
So that's what we preach. And it's not rocket science. It's just a matter just a matter of knowing. That's the knowledge. I can't do it for you, but if you know and you have the tools and you have the means to do some of the things within our modules, that's really what it's all about and why we want to put that, unbreakable system together for future agents. It took me years and years and years to figure all that out because no agent was showing me at another company when I was trying to get my sales career. And it's like it's not very complicated, right? It's just no matter of knowing.
Yeah, just having the right knowledge and knowing how to use the tools that are available to have a successful business.
Let me ask you this too, because I know with your success, you've already taken a promotion in the company for yourself. What is the difference between the organizational structure you saw at that national brand and how you think your career can grow here with the way we're designed with our organization? Sorry.
Well, the organization I was at, there were so many agents. I mean, they were constantly recruiting new agents, so it was like a wave. And I feel like a lot of those agents that could have been successful, they fell through the cracks because there's just too many. You can only manage so many new agents and train and have that one-on-one before agents feel left out. And I guess that's how I felt there is that I was doing everything right and working hard, and I was definitely motivated and soaking up the knowledge. But at the end of the day, the coaching there failed me. And MGM, the coaching, having the one-on-one, knowing that if you have a question, you have someone that you can directly reach out to that's going to mentor you anytime something comes up. Because we know with the industry, it's always changing. So you need someone that you can depend on. And with the structure that we have at MGM, I know I will always have somebody that can help answer questions that I may not know yet.
And that's why we designed it that way because I struggled with the very same things. Thanks for being honest about that too, because I think it's important that agents kind of hear that because, a lot of, even no matter how independent you are, when you're trying to build your business, I think you always need some kind of, so at least you don't need someone micromanaging and looking over you, but you need to be able to reach out, have that mentor and that phone a friend, or phone an expert right on speed dial and be able to get things managed quickly. Do you think that makes a huge difference also?
Oh, it does. Before, if I had a question, it was, hey, I'm super busy, but I can schedule you, 2 or 3 days later. Well, in our industry, that doesn't work. And now I know all I have to do is pick up the phone and make that phone call, and someone's going to pick up and answer my question right away.
And that's what it's all about too. Not that I'm coaching anyone to pick up the phone at midnight while people are sleeping and resting for the next morning, but definitely, throughout the, a 10-hour day, being able to access someone is very, very important. Um, so now that we talked about the organizational structure, I'm just looking at some notes to see what other question I could ask you here. Um, I guess you already did this. This was a question I was just going to ask you the difference between the programs that they had for training and the developments we program that we have here. Um, which system do you think is more organized and developed to actually help you build your business as far as, generating clients and closing transactions?
Definitely the system at MGM.
And we talked about that earlier, so I didn't want to harp on it too much and go back that. So I'm going to go into the next question here at that part, but even if an agent was producing business, why would you recommend that they partner with us?
Because you can have a successful business, but for some, maybe they feel like they've peaked or hit a rut. And with our training and always having, the coaches and mentors available, we could help them get to the next level that they need to get at. And, the compensation is amazing, and you don't have those monthly fees for someone just to hang up your license. We are invested in agents growing their business and being as successful as they want to be.
That's right. And our coaching programs and systems are much less expensive than the national brands out there. And in my opinion, work better because they're right to the point with step-by-step instruction. Have you seen the same?
Yes, it doesn't have all the extra, fluff that sometimes you can get lost in. It's very direct to the point and really shows and guides you how to, get to the next level.
Yep, yep, yep. It's just do it. That's the part I can't do for an agent. I can't make them do it. I can lead them to the water. Um, so while we're talking about that too, the reason I was asking is, an agent that's in a productive business, and maybe they figured out a lot of the same things I figured out. But what we wanted to do with our organizational structure is, well, when you get to that certain point, sometimes you can kind of cap because brokerages are designed that you have the broker and maybe you got a few administrators, and then it's just a bunch of agents. And for that agent to be successful, what do they have to do? They're selling, they're selling, they're selling. What do? They go start their own company. If they want to get out of sales, do they try to sell their business off? It's like when you get stuck at that point, which is a good place to be stuck, but where do you have that next place to grow your career and be able to have an exit strategy from just the grind, the daily grind of, oh, I gotta sell more, gotta sell more, gotta sell more. If I want to make more, I gotta sell more, I gotta sell more, I gotta sell more. And that was one of the things that we wanted to achieve with our structure here. Have you been able to dive in and kind of see that structure and understand how that structure works for you yet?
Oh, yes, because like you had mentioned previously, I've already been able to attain a promotion. So there is no cap on how much I can grow my business, and I can take it in the direction that I want to take it. And with MGM, you have that freedom. There are no caps where, oh, well, this is the best that I can get. You always can grow even more and have that exit strategy when you're ready to.
And that's again why we designed it that way, because another thing that I struggled with in my career was I got really good at selling, but I could never walk away from it once I was selling that much. Um, And so now you already have, and that's kind of the revenue share goes along with the organizational structure. You've seen the revenue shares of the other big companies, and you've seen agents that refer those people in, and how much money are they really making on the revenue shares on agents that they send in and they don't even know what they're doing. They keep track of them.
I mean, it's unfortunately it's a revolving door. So you've got to keep referring and referring and referring and hope that you make something off of them. And they get lost, in all the fluff, and they just end up, falling out of the business, unfortunately. And with MGM, with the structure that we have, the training that we have, when you bring in a new agent, they're going to get the best and they're going to stay and they're going to be successful. So with the revenue share, that helps.
And you see is the way we have it simple, so simple. It's a much better option for the short term and the long run. Would you agree the way we have it structured?
Completely agree.
Okay. One last question. I'm going to let you get on with your day, but after saying all that, would you ever need to leave the system we built, or can you grow your business as big as you want to make it and then plan your retirement here?
I don't plan on going anywhere. I have finally found where I belong, and I will be here until I die.
Hey, I've got one last question, but that makes me feel good, and I appreciate that. Oh, now I got a little brain fog as I get old and my beard gets a little bit whiter. Um, white or not whiter. And of course, I might be getting a little wider too. So, oh my goodness, what was that last question? I guess that was it. I'm gonna have to cut this thing off.
Okay.
Have a great day, Amber.
You too.